Welcome to Paul Boy Joe's. Today we are going to talk about one of the largest Autobots to ever fight in the Cybertronian Civil War. Fortress Maximus was a part of the Autobot Navy, you could say. His transformations as was like a military outpost, kind of. He would have runways sticking out, like you can see over here on the box. He would have the two runways, the entranceway where the hangar would be, I guess, and then the two cannons sticking out for side cover. He would also transform into like an aircraft carrier / destroyer or a battleship, because the runways be back here. You would have the lookout post, and then you'd have your two frontal cannons. He had a nemesis named Trypticon, which was basically a giant Decepticon version made to fight Fortress Maximus because the Decepticons were being overwhelmed and losing too many battles. Like, one battle that they won with Fortress Maximus was the Battle of Thunderhead Pass, in which the Autobots were surprise attacked by the Decepticons, but since Fortress Maximus ended up showing up near the end of the battle, the Decepticons made a full retreat back towards their headquarters. So what he would do was he would follow around. He would only listen to Prime's orders, so he would follow around or go where Prime ordered him to. Now his weaponry were these two bottom knee cannons that would raise up if necessary when he walked, and he would like charge them up and fire. But if he needed to, he could swap them. His legs would open up and they would go up and appear up here, where he would have the shoulder cannons. Some people say that he really didn't need it because his fingers were like cannons, as you can see there. Most people say that the only reason why he did is if he needed like a heavier punch. But I believe that he only used those cannons on his fingers for dire emergencies because they suck more energon out of his system than these two cannons. All of his weaponry would be fired from his energon supply. And one of the last major things he did before he ended up serving on Earth was on the Ark. He would defend the Ark. He was basically an outpost wall that would be holding the Decepticons back. And then when the Ark launched, he followed suit, destroying any Decepticon destroyer or vessel so he can destroy the Ark. The only ship to get past him, because he was in a fight, was Trypticon, which was eventually destroyed by Fortress Maximus, so he got shut down. But the Decepticons repurposed him as a ship, so they chased the Ark down and followed Optimus and the Autobots to Earth. So Fortress Maximus followed suit, and the toy, which I have here, has most of the features. He can transform into the three modes. He has the Fortress Maximus mode, the battle station, and then the destroyer / aircraft carrier. And on the back, here's the front for y'all who want to see the front of the box. And here's the back. He does make sounds, but yeah, I don't have batteries in my personal Fortress Maximus because I don't want the corrosion. I don't have the stickers on him either because I like having the sticker sheet separate. But you can see how some of the stickers would look on the Autobot himself. And then here is like other places, well, transformers that would transform into and connect to him, like you see here with Autobot Blaster, which would be like a checkpoint for the Autobots, and he can connect to Fortress Maximus. Then there was Hardhead and Sentinel Prime, which was the larger Sentinel Prime, which you can see here in a zoom up. And the three head, he does have the detachable head because he is a part of the Titan series. Just let you get a close-up of it on the box. And I will show you how it would look to transform in. transform his head. There, but what you would want to do is you want to fold his ears forward and then take the face mask and lift it down. Then you would take his legs and you would kick them up to where they're vertically up. And then if you wanted him to stand in this mode, you would lift the feet like that. And for the batteries, this little jetpack right here, which is under the head, it gets covered up by the face mask, so you would lift that down, and right here is where the batteries would be stored. So then you would take the arms, fold them back, they'd clip in, and then there you go. You have Cerberus, which was the second largest transformation that Fortress Maximus had. Now after this, for if you wanted to switch him into like his battle station or his destroyer, you would take the head off and then you would put the arms, put them back into their resting position. Then you take the legs, close it, and then it would sit into the spot that it's made for. Now for the smaller head, to get Emissary, you would bring the legs down and then here's little Emissary. It is a small piece, so if you do get one in the aftermarket, this may be a piece that is probably lost if you're not careful because of how small he is. So what you do to turn him back to the head is you fold him back up and set him over here. Now for the card, you can see Fortress Maximus and you see all the green in that. For the card, this would show how much firepower and stuff that Fortress Maximus would have alone without Cerberus or Emissary. Which he's pretty decent. He has a 10 rating. Which you can see there, which is like a pretty powerful punch. But with Cerberus, it gets boosted to 16. Well, his strength is a 16. His speed's a 14. Well, 15. Then his brain power is boosted to 18, and then his firepower is boosted to 17. But when you add Emissary into this, he gets the maximum height, which is basically like where the primes would stand, like Sentinel Prime and Optimus Prime, with strength, speed, might, and firepower. This is the front art of Fortress Maximus card. Go. And to transform him, what you would do is there's this little, turn him over, there's this little back part right here that you would want to pick up and flip upwards. Then you would lay him on his, then you would lift these two little spots back here, and you'll see why in a second. Lift this up, and then you would lay him on his back. Then it would sit like there where the cockpit is. Then you take the arms, and you flip them all the way around for the little aerial base. Then his two exhaust fans, you grab and you lift up. This is why you needed these lifted up, because you would take them, they'd lift up, and then they'd fold up, then they snap together. Sit up, it's not gonna snap. Well, they would sit there, then how you left your main base, you would stick them in where his heels are facing the glass. And the reason for this is because when he slides in, if I can get him to slide in, fold his ears back just for that. He sits in and his fists would sit where the little slots are in the glass, as of right there. And then most people do this. I don't. But first they would usually flip the feet down. I've saved the feet for last to flip down because they're the easiest. So you pick them up and flip them down. And then there's the battle station. Then if you wanted, you could lift this little piece up. It raises up. And then this flips around, which would be like the anti-air. Then you take emissary here. You need to fit right comfortably there. Or there's like little foot pegs on the runways or on top of there that the little feet holes that he has sit on. So you could have him sitting by himself on the runway or something. Like if you have the little jets that come with him, like you can see one right here on the box, or there, he could be maintaining it or doing something else. There's also little details right here where like two anti-Decepticon, well, anti-infantry in our case, cannons would be sitting. So if the Decepticons came charging up here, these are long range, so they would lift up and they would launch artillery towards the Decepticons. Now that's to get him into his like destroyer phase. To get him into the base here, what you do, you take his legs and have him do the splits. He does have joints that click, so if you hear clicking, don't be too alarmed. And he is loose, so if you get one out of the box and you think you got ripped off, it's not. It's just how big he is. He is a little wobbly. But here is his battle station mode. The cannons, I do not understand why they are not on a swivel. It would make more sense to have them on a swivel, because he could attack from any direction. But in this mode, he is strictly made to attack from the sides. But this was what he was sitting in when the Ark was being constructed. He sat like this for the longest time, and he actually sat so long because the cons did not attack the Ark. He actually shut down. So when the Decepticons did attack it, because they took advantage of being shut down, Prime had to go in and reactivate him. So he came up, and if y'all played Fall of Cybertron, y'all have seen what he did to Megatron. So then after this, he switched out, even though Fall of Cybertron's different from most others, to where he actually gave the last Energon to power it. But then he switched his legs back, and he took off, following suit of Prime. So there's the good look side view of the destroyer mode. Now I'm going to take Fortress Maximus and I'm going to transform him back from his carrier mode to it. So what you'd first want to do is fold Emissary to his little head. Then you'd want to take these ears. You'd want to flip them forwards to give your legs room to bend and to clip onto the sides, because they have these little tabs here that'll insert to the hole on the leg there. So you click in, the arms sit in the middle, then you would take this head and you'd put them sitting facing this way into that little slot right there. It'd be all nice and cozy. Then you take his head and you lift it up. Now the reason why you want this piece is because he connects to the body. I'll show you later. There's the complete transformation of the head. Then what you'd want to do is you would want to take this little AA battery, flip it all the way back around to where it was, and set it down right there. Then you take the feet pegs here, flip them up lift him up because they are too large to set on the ground. So you'd fix his feet to help them support him. They do have little tabs here that clamp onto the side of the leg for the feet to be held onto. You can, then you would take these, and these would clip to the side of Fortress Maximus. Then you take his arms, fold them down. He does have the movable ramp, so if you wanted to have him standing up, you could have like a little bridgeway. Bring us down. Then you take this piece. It will cooperate. It's just not seeming to want to. Okay. It is a little stiff. So it sits there, and then right there is where the head connects. So this is where you want a little emissary to be on, because when you set him in, right there he sits, locked into place. So now the hands, there is a little area here where the joint can bend, and it also can do a little twisting. His thumb is on its own little hinge, but this is about the most movement you can get out of it. The fingers are on its individual hinge, so you can give somebody the bird with him if you wanted to. Don't know why. But his hand also can move back and forth, so you can smack somebody. So it sits there. His torso, as you can see, like I barely touch him, he is loose. That's a normal thing. But his waist has a full 360 motion, as you can see. The legs, you can see the joint because his transformation. You can do a split. His knee can bend the same as the arm. Does bend up and down, so you can like make him walk. And if you wanted to, say you were wanting to carry some Transformers to like a new house or something, the back of his leg can open up, and you can fit a few Transformers in the leg, sitting in there, chilling. Close his leg back up. Gotta line the slots with the poles that stick up, so that it locks in place. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, so just take it, lock it in, and there you go. Pick them up. And another accessory is this little gun. I don't know what that's called, the technical term, but I'll find out later. But it has a little spot here, this blue tab, that's the guard for this. It sits on, so the most motion it can do is up and down. Can't sit like this because there's no guard back here. So this is an additional part to him. His cannons do come off because they are on the same hinge this is. It has a little tab slot here, and then it fits on these tabs here. Now this part does come up. It is found in between the cannon barrels. It comes up. If you wanted to, you can have the guns sit in one of the mini back slots back here on his back. What you do, take this tab and put it into the slot. Sits pretty well. It does have a little motion from side to side, up and down. That's about the most motion you get there. And they do come off. Both cannons do move. They both come off the same way this one does. You can have him holding the cannon with his hand if you wanted. Open his hand up, put the piece in. It is kind of wonky trying to get him to hold the cannon. So you can get him to hold the gun, as seen here. And that pretty much concludes our video on Fortress Maximus. Forgot to flip his ears. This concludes the video of Fortress Maximus on Poor Boy Joe's. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe, and have a nice day.